What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Gamers for Life podcast, each and every Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, discussing that gaming shit. I am one of your hosts, Jarrell. With me is the goth baby behind him, Arthur Thomas. What's going on, man?
Not much. Just need Kojima to like not feel a couple nightmares for a bit. Just
Yes,
we
sir.
go fully shut. Yeah, there you go. That's what babies look like, or all in the womb. Running mascara.
Oh,
Tonight will
man.
be the night I fall for you, never again.
Oh, man. One of my favorite meme videos you sent me throughout the week was the one where Eminem's explaining the plot of Death Stranding.
Dude, AI Eminem is explaining the plot of video games is what we need in our life right
That
now.
was hilarious. I kind of want to watch that again just so I actually understand what the fuck's going on this time around.
It really helped explain to know what the hell happened in Death Stranding 1, you know? It's like just AI Eminem just, going at you a mile, getting some exposition dumps, which really was needed for that fucking game.
Yeah, I know they should be doing another one for the second one, but most definitely. So yes, everyone, if you are watching this or hearing this, hello on the YouTube channel. You should definitely subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. That is where the videos will be available. That is where Arthur does the gaming streams, which we've been doing a little bit of Rivals here, a little bit of Space Marine 2 there, which has been fun to go back to Space Marine 2. Still plays great. The AI is insane. The 6 difficulties now is kind of insane as well.
Space Marine 2 will humble you, man. It's like there's games that are like PvE where like I'm on a steamroll, and there are games that are PvE like you're gonna fucking die. Like that's Space Marine 2 and Helldivers. That's another game I want to get back into sometime this week with us and Victor. We all coop again. Is hell now that we're scratching the itch with Space Marine 2. I want to scratch the itch with Helldivers again because it's like again I'm the reason subliminal messaging works because my algorithm is like yes, now that you've tried Space Marine 2, get back in the Helldivers, brother, for Super
Yeah,
Earth. And I'm like, yeah, for Super Earth. So I want to get back in a game with all the updates and the villain types. Plus, now that I feel like when we get back into it, you and I need to play like one match on relatively easy because that last time we just dropped in face first. We are like, what the fuck are we doing? How do you switch weapons? We're let's play Space Marine 2.
yeah.
we
We need a
we
whole ass crash course. Like,
yeah.
what is happening?
We jumped into a hell. We played Helldivers a while back. We just jumped into it and we just got fucking wrecked. I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay, Space Marine 2.
Reminds me when we did what was it, Gears of War 5,
Here
where we were doing the Hive
after
Busters.
we'd been playing Outriders for so long. When we went back into Gears of War, we're like, oh fuck, we lost. We failed that mission an embarrassing number of times. Like we had to like look at ourselves and be like, we don't. Do we just suck? No, no, no. We're just playing Outriders. It's different now.
Yeah.
Gears of War has kickback because in Outriders, in Outriders you can like there's relatively low kickback. In your Gears of War, after by the time your mag's empty, you're shooting the moon. And we're like, it
Yeah.
took us a hot minute to like lock the fuck in and beat Hive Busters.
That was hilarious too, because like obviously you are a better gamer than I am, and you take pride in like the competitiveness. So when we switched from Outriders, or when we switched from what the fuck were we playing Gears to Outriders, we're like, how the fuck did this shit work? Like the recoil was like crazy comparatively. We still weren't used to the controls. Oh man, wild
I
times.
want to get headshots, but I'm shooting the sky. God damn it.
But yes, once again, definitely subscribe. Helps us out a lot. We would appreciate it too. And here at the Gamers for Life podcast, we read the news well. You can watch or listen to what you choose by clicking on the links to the time code within the description of the episode, so you can go and just directly watch what specific topic that you care about. You can just hang out with us here at the Gamers for Life podcast. Enjoy a brewski on this lovely Saturday afternoon here. And today, a couple of new trailers released. which is, new trailer is always nice. And I know the first one, I'm just going to start backwards to forwards, kind of like Pulp Fiction here. But, good old Borderlands 4, which, I mean, I will be honest, we're not really looking forward to it, but it's coming out, so, maybe. The official launch trailer, about a minute, looks like 9/23/25 is going to be the official release date of the game, which is, I think, I will say this: if there's anything positive, I'm glad that they put their balls on the table, said, fuck it, we don't know when GTA 6 is coming out, but god damn it, it's not coming out in September. And if it is, we're fucked, but fuck it. September 23, here's a release date.
I feel like they are, yeah, one of the few games that has a release date for this year, like, the next couple months. It's like either games are coming out in March, April, and then the rest of the year is TBA for a lot of games because everyone's just holding their breath for GTA. With the Borderlands 4 trailer, I'm liking what I'm seeing. There's a lot of new mechanics, like you can swim now. I know that sounds dumb, but Gears of War, damn it. Gearbox and Borderlands was one of those games where if you jumped in the water, you just like die. So it kind of threw off the pacing, especially in like water levels. You're trying to like survive, not fucking die. Especially, when the game is getting tough sometimes. And it sucked because you just get knocked back in the water and you're like, oh fuck, we all just got wiped or something like that. But now you can swim in it. This game's also looking a lot more mobile. Like there's a lot more movement going on. It looks like there's some double jumps. There's grapple hooks you can swing. It looks like someone's like flying with like a hover of some kind while shooting a
Yeah.
rocket launcher. So there's a lot. This game's a lot more fast paced, which is kind of impressive considering if you look at all the Borderlands trailers up until this date, they've kind of always like been really fast paced trailers. Just a lot of strafing with, crazy EDM, bah, 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 music in the background. A lot of annoying dubstep. Sorry if you like dubstep, but Borderlands dubstep was annoying. Um, but I don't know. As a Borderlands 4 player, I've played every game up until now. Um, I'm happy that this game's looking better. I don't know if I'll buy it day one. That's just because there's a lot of games coming out. I'm now that I've dipped my toe into the world of PC, now that I also have PlayStation Plus Premium, my backlog of games is stacking up really, really quickly. Like case in point, I was looking to get Yakuza Like a Pirate, which I may still do next payday, but I'm just like, fuck, I just had to renew my passport, had to fuck renew my license, had to do all this bullshit. Now I'm like a couple $100 in the hole. I am happy that it is looking better. The comment section, everyone's concerned about the same thing. What about the story? Who's the villain? Who's writing this fucking game? Because like I said, the worst part about Borderlands 3 was how annoying their fucking villains were. Like I swear, every time they came on the screen, it's like you want to kill them, not because they were bad people killing your friends. You just wanted those two streamers to shut the fuck up. Like it was just like, oh my God, they're villains. We must stop them. It was like, no, they're insufferable. End their bloodline now. You know what I mean? So I don't know. People like in the comments are kind of feeling the same way I am. Where the game, I'm hopeful. I'm happy to see new improvements. The game looks a lot more fast paced. There's a lot more, I would say, polish to the game because they do have Borderlands has a specific art style, which I like. Like Joel, we talked about this multiple times. In the modern age of gaming, I prefer art styles to hyperrealism because there's a new uncanny valley, I think, when you get to hyperrealism. Instead of noticing how clean it looks, all you're noticing is those little flaws. Case in point, like both Forspoken and the Final Fantasy 16, 15, 16. Something about Square Enix, they can't lock down their hair. You know what I mean? It's like their body's looking this way, but their hair is like going against the wind or some shit. And just it's all every time I see a playthrough or someone doing a cutscene or something of like Final Fantasy Forspoken, all I can see is that their hair is janky. So like I said, I do prefer art styles over hyperrealism. Um, but there's a lot of polish, just something about the movement, um, the little parkour they have going on, the animation for you open up chests. But yeah, so 9/23, can't promise I'll get day one. I was really hyped about Yakuza. I didn't get that day one. So This will probably be a Steam sale drill for me. It's funny when it comes to the world of PC drill, you'll like to hear this, is now I'm more than ever like, let me wait for it to go on sale because we all know there is like console sales and then Steam sales. So will I be playing Borderlands for eventually? Yeah. Will it be for full price day one? No.
Yeah. And welcome to that sentiment, by the way. It's so good. No, I mean, I agree with you. I think this is a game where I don't know if they've really have sold people that to really buy it day one, and obviously it's going to determine on how well they sell the game and how much information we know about it, especially from a story perspective, and how the writing is and everything. So it's not enough to just have, guns going off and shit exploding. Like, it's kind of funny because like there's so many other gaming mediums where that is acceptable and we don't really need to care know about the story. But Borderlands changed. It changed everything with Borderlands 2. The writing was that good. People really paid attention to it, and it was really funny, and the characters are really funny, and it created this whole other world. And then we had this high expectation of Borderlands, and then that kind of went away during the third one. So rightfully so. I think it seems like everyone's kind of speaking the same language as far as like, oh, it looks good, but it's, I kind of hope the story is there, so we'll have to see, but definitely it's what,
I had an epiphany moment. Jarrell, you remember when this game was first announced at the Video Game Awards and they were probably expecting cheers and shit, but because it was right after the movie fucking flopped, no one gave a shit that when this game was revealed.
Oh yeah, that crowd was so quiet, bro. When they did that reaction video,
Hmm.
yeah, they thought people would be like, "Oh shit," But yeah, like once, like yeah, it was an official failure of the film, and then Borderlands 4, like, you guys happy about it? We're like,
No one
no,
gives a shit.
not really. Like like sorry, your little video isn't enough to sway us, So
Sorry, Kevin Hart can make me hype for this fucking game. I don't care.
right, and the game, and to be fair too, for Borderlands, like I feel like that's like what is it, like a generation ago, as far as like when
Yeah.
like Borderlands 2 came out, a generation or two ago, Jesus, so it's like you have to win back. Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming their target market is us and like the kids that maybe play Fortnite. So it's like, and I feel like 3 tried to capture both of those markets, but then they
Oh
just
my
kind of got lost
God.
within translation.
You can Borderlands 3 carbon dated itself so I was gonna say bad because it was like EDM was popular, like dubstep was popular, like a flash in the pan in terms of a large scale. Like, yeah, there's festivals worldwide. Yeah. I get that. But to have it like be a main front of their game, it was kind of annoying. Like, I mean? Because like I can like watch some concerts of like how like the EDM opener or the EDM closer, like the Electric Daisy Festival, EDF, sorry, not EDM, EDF, like some of those festivals. But that's something about the music and like the trailer of like the Borderlands 3 trailer. Also more dubstep. Brr, 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 brr. I'm just like I like your game has dubstep and your villains are insufferable streamers. Why? Just like playing the game
Yeah,
on mute. Like playing the game on mute is like a little better, except for some of the dialogue where the side characters are involved.
I just remember working at GameStop where they had the brand new GameStop TVs and stuff, and like in the stores. But that was like one of the first trailers to really
Yep.
represent the sound. But it was on a loop. Like every 15 minutes, it would play the same thing,
Oh,
and that dubstep shit was just constant. And it just like, if we're working at an 8-hour day, like yeah, like at the end of the day, we're just like fucking unplug this fucking thing. Like Jesus
GameStop,
Christ.
GameStop, GameStop employees were Pavlov to like hate that fucking trailer.
You really were.
It's like working retail on Christmas, but your store only has like four fucking songs.
Seriously, bro. And like as far as speaking of first person shooters as well, like I don't know, I've been really disappointed with kind of where first person shooters have been trending now recently. Like obviously shit's gonna be going towards, the live service shit, like this isn't a new thing, right? Especially
Hmm.
when it comes to Valorant and all that stuff. And but it sucks that it seems like the only like quote unquote solid first person shooter that we can rely and know what it is going to be is going to be like Call of Duty, you know what I mean? But it's like Call of Duty, you got cheaters,
Yep.
galore, so you have that bullshit people hanging out next to when people respond. So I'm like, why am I even playing this? Like where is the actual fun here and everything? And Borderlands was a nice game within a bunch of first person shooters that people respected to at one
Yeah.
point in time, so and then obviously I've always bitched about Battlefield as far as like for 2042. It's like before the game even came out, like the beta, like they didn't have a scoreboard, like all this weird stuff. Like I remember someone on Reddit had a very comprehensive list of things that were in the prior ones that were not in 2042, and there was just very like obvious things that should be in there, you know what I mean? So it's just, and yeah, sure, like people say like, well, Joel, they fixed it. It's like, yeah, but it's too late. It's like you only have so much time to win back people, and that's important. Delta Force is out and that's free to play and it's kind of fun, but I kind of miss that urge of like, I want a really great fucking first person shooter. Like, I want a really fucking good one. And I feel like Doom, the new one coming out, is probably going to be that one. That's probably
Yeah.
going to be the saving grace, at least so far this year. That's going to be the real saving grace. That game looks fucking insane. I'm excited for it. I'm honestly can say I'm excited for it. And I think that one's going to be another hardware ray tracing required game. If you're a PC guy, you got to have, like, similar to Indiana Jones, you got to have a video card with ray tracing. So luckily I upgraded already to a video card that just makes it. So I can play at least.
Sneaks on by.
Right, right,
Hey, and
right.
speaking of soundtrack, that Doom game, no one's gonna question whether or not that game is gonna sound fucking awesome.
Yeah, and that game definitely. We need to hear that game in the fucking Grammys, versus like these like 5, 6 year old video games. Like, oh, they got nominated. It's like this game. Like, I can't even play this game anymore. You know?
And the 2023 Grammy nomination goes to a game that came out 4 years ago, Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yeah, Valaha. I'm like, Jesus
Valhalla.
Christ. But anyway, that's kind of my spiel. I mean, how do you feel about first person shooters?
Well, I mean, speaking of Battlefield drill, it's in the news lately. You want to talk about it?
Absolutely, good segue.
So, Battlefield 6 got leaked. Well, let me phrase that. Not in its entirety. So there's like early testing going on right now. I'm sure there's a lot of NDAs that clearly someone fucking broke. But yeah, Battlefield 6 early testing got leaked. I'm mixed because it's early testing, so when it looks like shit or like some assets aren't fully developed, it's like, yeah. Like this isn't even like a beta. This is like literally in development fucking testing. One of the few gameplay features I saw, Joe, that is an improvement as someone that mains medic in Battlefield, knowing that the last really Battlefield game I truly heavily played was Battlefield 1, which I still stand on my grounds, and that was the last good Battlefield game. Because after Battlefield 1, we got Battlefield 5, which was skippable. And then we got fucking 2042, that was a long list of games that were coming out on the time that I was like, release now, patch later. Because you know what? When you go to a burger place, drill, and they say your order's up, like, here you go. I'm like, where's my other bun? Nah, the other bun, that's coming soon. Then why'd you say it's ready? Well, it's legally edible. So you see, this is we're selling you a concept of an edible burger. Cool, there's just like a bun and a patty. No condiments? That's that's a day one patch coming right up for you. I got that right. I got that for you right now. Cool. Lettuce. Aha. That hasn't come out yet. In fact, we're about to announce the lettuce next week. Yeah, and that's modern day gaming. So when people are like, "Oh, yeah, give it time." Like, no. If I pay for a burger and you tell me my burger's ready and half the shit's missing, I'm not gonna buy your burger again. So
Yeah. That
with
reminds me,
Battlefield,
really quick, that reminds me of the Simpsons tax burgers. You'll get your burgers in 6 to 8 weeks.
fuck, dude. Don't remind me when I'm still waiting for my passport. But Battlefield 6, so a lot of this playtest got leaked. One of the new mechanics I saw when I was briefly watching this drill is someone that made like in the someone that I made a medic is you can now at least in this test Let's hope they don't fucking take it away because EA does that all the time. Hence the list they said of all the features they take away. But um, you can like drag your buddy, kind of like like let's say you're in the battlefield. You grab him by the shoulder, the vest. You just drag him, then you revive him. That's something that was shown or leaked in this test. So for someone like me that's a medic, I'm like, oh shit, you're actually adding new things. Like okay, okay. Again, I'm not holding my breath whatsoever. But um, we'll see what Battlefield can do. Um, remember Battlefield 2042 failed so hard. Their next like I think it was like next 5 to 10 years of Battlefield were going to be around 2042. Like just to be clear. So this game we're seeing was not truly planned. This game we're watching right now was not meant to exist. It was all just meant to be around EA supporting like Battlefield to a point like not one for one example, but like Rainbow Six Siege, right? It's gonna be a while since we till we get Rainbow Six Siege 3 because of how heavily it's still being supported. Love it or hate it, but Rainbow Six Siege is still um being supported.
Yeah.
So that's what's supposed to happen with Battlefield 22. Like they had the roadmap. Like they had the roadmap of stuff, all this shit that's going to be around this Battlefield 2042 ecosystem, right? So there's a whole new IP, a whole not IP, but a whole new game coming out wasn't on that fucking docket. So we'll see. Um, hopefully they learn their lesson. And I'll be honest, I'll say right now to everyone that like, and sorry, this means includes a few people right now. To all the people that keep putting this Battlefield, that keep pre-ordering these fucking Battlefield like or EA releases, like stop, like, and here's the thing, it sucks because Battlefield 22, they truly felt like they lied to us. Because remember, Joel, the Battlefield 2042 first trailer, it made us feel like, wow, they might actually listen to gamers now. Because remember, there's a moment in the trailer that recreated a famous clip of a player that was in a jet, jumping out of the jet, shooting the thing behind him, getting back in the jet. And we're like, oh fuck, they're actually like listening to the community. And look what we get. We got 2042 as it was at launch. So Battlefield 6 is being developed. Title's not even confirmed. Everyone's just calling it Battlefield 6. Um, so I don't know what's gonna happen with it. Did 2042 even have a campaign?
No, I believe it's just all online.
They need to bring that back.
Yeah,
Battlefield.
they do.
Speaking of that,
Battlefield
Joe,
One, Battlefield, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
have
because
you have you played your Battlefield 1 campaign yet?
I haven't beaten it, but I have played it. I played it. I played some of
Those,
it.
it's sick, right?
I mean, it's one of the best. It's one of the best first person shooter campaigns, arguably ever.
And like half and most of it's practically real. You
Yeah,
have you have the Harlem Hellfighters, you have Lawrence of Arabia, you have a bunch again. So a lot of the stuff is like a lot of Battlefield One's campaign was like based off like true stuff.
they cared about historical accuracy.
Yeah,
I like Shadows.
and then Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4's campaign still fucking holds up. We talk about campaigns in the story. You mentioned Call of Duty Drill. Fuck, all of us remember playing Black Ops One's campaign. We're
Yeah,
like, oh shit, this
yeah.
is we're in it. Like that Russian roulette. Dude, I still remember when I saw that Russian roulette scene for the first time in Black Ops One when you get fucking captured. I'm like, oh shit, we got a game. And like I said, so they need to bring the campaign back to Battlefield to this new Battlefield for sure.
Definitely. No, yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, I'll definitely say like, Battlefield One. Definitely, it's like top five, if not top three, of one of the best first-person shooter campaigns that I've witnessed. Obviously, like you can throw a Bioshock in the mix and stuff like that, but definitely as far as like a first-person shooter in general, not like mixed with fantasy or whatever, Battlefield One is fucking nuts. And it's funny to think before we go on to the next thing. It's funny to think about how the Battlefield fuck up. That was supposed to be like a whole fucking franchise of all new games around it. Like Concord was supposed to be the same thing, and they like fucking failed that. Like it kind of it just high emphasizes the fuck up. It's like you guys fucked up an entire franchise of games that never came out because you fucked up the first one. Like, what does that say for gaming?
Dude, whoever went to Sony and proposed Concord as quote the next Star Wars, they need to get fired. They need to
Yeah,
get
that's
fired.
ridiculous. Like they
I
probably
I
never
think
even
they did.
seen Star Wars. Like that's
I think they
ridiculous.
I believe they did get fired since they shut down the whole fucking studio. Yeah, I mean, like even the Amazon show. What's the Amazon show called of like all the gaming? It's like a
Secret level.
Secret Level.
Yeah.
Like so, like Concord's episode of Secret Level had all these new characters because that was supposed to be their announcement for new characters and like our new season or whatever. They couldn't even make it to that. So like I said, whoever had the fucking gall to say, "Hey, hey Sony, you got your next Star Wars." When looking at any of the fucking characters, like how like you make like Concord, I won't go too much because it's a dead horse. It's already been fucking buried. But it's still worth the piss in the grave sometimes, right? So it's like who can look at who can like look at the Star Wars characters. You know what I mean? Like look at Chewbacca, R2D2. Look at these like likable characters. Leia, old school young Harrison Ford, right? And that vest and that shirt, which I still think is why I talk to Howard Boys because it's Jack all the time. But um you look at the characters like Concord and be like, yeah, this is your next Star Wars. These are the people that people will be cosplaying for years. These are the people that are gonna be talking about. These are the people that they're gonna write shows on. These are the people that are gonna win you Emmys. All these fucking awards, and it's like Concord. And so again, so all these like executive decisions like that result in a fuck up so bad to shut down the whole studio, Concord. And then here we are, Battlefield. It's like, dude, it's like upside. It's. I'm not sure if it's a good or bad thing, but this leak is like the first positive press Battlefield's had in a long fucking time.
Yeah. 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 So at the end of the day, man, I mean, fuck. We'll see what happens as far as this next Battlefield.
If you ever want to play Battlefield 1 online, some of those servers are still going. Dude, me, Victor, Bacon, dude, we'll jump in there. Dude, we'll jump in. We'll jump in and join you. Shit, I might have to like reset up Game Pass. I still have 1 month of Game Pass I've yet to fucking cash in.
Oh wow, nice, nice. Yeah,
I bought my computer and they're like, "You get a month of Game Pass for free." And I'm like, "Cool.
yeah.
To play what?" So, uh, but yeah, either way, if anyone's listening and want a good Battlefield game, go play Battlefield 1, play Battlefield 4. Those campaigns absolutely still hold up.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I think Game Pass, it's worth it for Avowed, and No Man's Sky, and Avowed, and
I
you
will
know?
say, actually, Joe, I will say I will get Game Pass next month. I have said it. I have said it. I'll put my money where my mouth is, which is I do because I legitimately want to try it. Um, South of Midnight will be the game that gets me
Yeah.
back on Game Pass. South of Midnight, 100%.
I think isn't Doom on Game Pass too, or will be on Game Pass? The Dark Ages, Doom Dark Ages.
Yeah, but South of Midnight's coming out first,
Yeah,
and I'll be honest, just because I like new things, I like its art style. Just for me, clearly I'm not the target audience. I'm actually a little more excited for South of Midnight than Doom. I'm not saying South of Midnight will be better than Doom. I just don't think it will be. It just I can't really put my finger on it, but I'm like I said, I'm more excited to try South of Midnight than I am Doom. It just, you know what I mean? Like I like new
mm.
stuff. I like my mythology. I went down the history rabbit hole with you the other day. I was just like, yeah, so this guy and so by the way, Suck on Knees is a joke because, it's the Space Marine 2 is inspired by the start of the Second Punic War, which was a colony in Spain by Syracuse that was under Rome's control, and Hannibal took it over. Blah 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 blah. So I'm saying I like history. I like
I'm like
mythology, and
Arthur,
this
revive me. I'm dying.
yeah. And I'm like, no, Joe, you must know the history on why Socrates, why there you go, Secundus, how Secundus helped kick off the Second Punic War against Hannibal, who eventually went to Rome. But what I'm saying is, so because of the lore and the Americana Bayou mythology, I love that stuff. My dad, a little bit more history. My dad was a trucker, so a lot of our vacations as kids was doing the old school Americana thing, like the biggest thermometer in Bakersfield. I've been there, been to the Field of Dreams, and so I'm saying is like so all this like little Americana, Paul Bunyan American mythology stuff. I like it a lot. So to see it be the Bayou and that Louisiana folklore be the main stage for this game South of Midnight. That's why I'm looking forward to it a lot.
Yeah, I mean that's cool. I mean obviously South of Midnight is very different than Doom, so it's like if you were excited more for South of Midnight than Doom, that would make perfect sense because they're completely different games. So
And
like you wouldn't be wrong in
yeah.
that.
And a lot of
Um,
people, I know a lot of people are nervous about the combat, but I will say, which is fair. I know we already talked about this, but the art style, I'm loving the art style. The hybrid claymation, but not claymation feel they have to it. At least for the cutscenes and all those dialogue moments, I'm looking forward to seeing that. It reminds me of like stop motion movies, like like Kubo and the Two Strings and stuff like that.
yeah, I do think the art style is cool. I will say some of the concerns that people have had from a frame rate perspective, I do think they are valid.
Oh yeah,
So as long as it doesn't work against itself, where if the game is chopping, but it's like, oh, but this is the art style, it's like, yeah, but if it's not a smooth experience, then that is detrimental to the gameplay experience. And I don't want that to
yeah.
happen because I do like what I've seen from South of Midnight. I like the characters that they've introduced. I've really liked the voice acting. I like this world that they've endured. So it's funny. I think this is like the game where like Church, you and I were all like, yeah, like we want to support this game. You know what I mean? Because this seems cool and it seems like one of those traditional indie type games, right? It may not be classified technically as an indie studio, but it might as well be. You know what I mean? Given like how, like different fucking developers' doors are like, they're closed like, the day after the release because the company's like, oh, you didn't make $1 billion, so it's like, oh, fuck yourselves. So I think as far as for this game, definitely let's support it. You know what I mean? It looks dope. So if I can support it via Game Pass, awesome. That's not an issue for me on my end. Yeah, I just hope the game runs well. That's really the biggest thing for me. Um, as far from a history perspective, I mean, I went to Louisiana, for like a honeymoon thing after I got married. So it was, I mean, great food, very interesting lore though. There's a, I won't say like a dark energy, but there's an
Oh yeah.
energy of like, yeah, a lot of repressions happened around here. But as far as like kind of the story and how like the landscape and like adapting to like how like, yeah, this feels like it's a bayou type thing. I, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. So I'm excited. I'm
Yeah.
excited. I'm excited to check it out.
And remember one thing too to that gameplay concern, which is like as valid, is you can turn it off too. That stop motiony jitter, whatever you want to call it, but that stop motion art style, there's a setting to have it turned off during combat.
Okay. Yeah. They just have to communicate that loudly multiple times because,
Keep
you
reminding
know,
people.
yeah, because it's like even though like yeah you said it's like this could be the determination if you have a second one or another game entirely.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think that's good that they keep sending that message out there. So I definitely want them to do well. Let's see here. I mean, we've been shitting on Assassin's Creed Shadows, rightfully so. Got some more information here on it though. They released the system requirements, at least PC specifications on this. I'm curious to see what
Console requirements, turn it on.
turn it on 48 frames per second, I guess. Low mode, PS5 Pro. It won't make a difference. Still not really justified to pay $700 for it. Just buy regular PS5 for 350 or 375. You can find it that way. But yeah, I mean, as far as the PC specs, it almost looks like that it's requiring ray tracing, but I don't think it does because it says the minimum 1080p 30. You can get a GTX 1070. That's like it's like a 10-year-old video card. So obviously, I don't think ray tracing is required. I thought it was because everything else had RT on it, RTX, and then all the other ones have ray tracing. They have ray tracing compatibilities. So we'll see what happens. I'm curious to see from Digital Foundry how they feel about these performance metrics here because I know for Monster Hunter Wilds, which is doing great. It peaked at 1.3 million players, whatever it is. It's at 400,000 on SteamDB info, which I think is still pretty good. The initial optimization specifications, I mean, the optimization is a fucking nightmare on PC. So they really have to fix that shit. But there's also some other issues with the Shadows because there's been quite a few. has been the game has looks like it's been leaked, right? There's been some leaks. People
Yeah.
actually been playing the game, and so it's like, and then it's funny. The game was leaked, and then the gamers who played it were like, "Yeah, there's issues with the game."
So so how it went down was they released physical copies to, various retailers. And some people were like, want to buy it. So people bought it, started playing it, started streaming it, started leaking it. So if you really want to, you can go find it. You can watch the whole game like right now. Um, but there was like a couple performance issues. And I will say, I don't fully agree to like how the leaks came out, but I will say, Joe, I still think it's a little funny. I still think it's a little funny that that Ubisoft's response to the performance was, quote, "We're still working on patches." And here's the thing, Drill. This was a game that got delayed twice. So yes, we know it's having issues because of the leaks, but I don't know, man. To have your fish, I mean, maybe because it was coming from a place of defense, a defensive stance, like their back was to the wall with the leaks. But just still weird, you know what I mean? To know that there's gonna be significant day one patches for a game that got delayed twice. So, um, so that's why that quote kind of concerns me. Like I said, it may have just been a pure, like I said, defense. Similar how we were talking about with the Switch 2, how the Switch 2's official announcement was really lackluster, but it's because the Switch 2's existence got, fucking and unintentionally leaked at a tech conference by one of their third-party vendors who won't be a third-party vendor no more. Um, but
Yeah, I
yeah,
think their contract is done.
yeah. Um, but when it comes to Assassin's Creed Shadows leak, I just think it's first of all it's funny because Ubisoft just cannot catch the most minimal W ever for anything in the news lately. Like everything they do is fucking up. They're like, this would be the most historically accurate Assassin's Creed ever made. All of a sudden, the guy they were using as their main historical reference is in the middle of being discredited from his Japanese university. And they're like, yeah, it turns out his certified sources were himself using other aliases. Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
shit.
crazy, crazy.
So, but
You
yeah, we'll
just
see how it is. We'll see how it is. I will say it's what's funny for me too, Drew. I know we're talking about it before the pod. Is another thing that Ubisoft just can't get right is people like me that were given a code not to play it early, but like given a code like I got this game for free. I'm supposed to have this game for free because when I bought my iBuyPower PC, there was a special with Newegg where I got two games for free. One I've already I forget what the word verified or I've cashed quote unquote cashed it in is the Indiana Jones game and the Great Circle. I have that. I don't have it installed, but it's my queue ready to just download. I can play it right now. But through Newegg, through Newegg, the Assassin's Creed Shadows reviews were already like 1 star, 1 star, 1 star, 1 star because the codes weren't working. The codes the codes for Assassin's Creed Shadows through Ubisoft's end, not through Newegg's end, but through Ubisoft's end, weren't working. So I'm like, well, fuck, dude, you can't even get your free games right. Like, what the fuck? I know that's a really specific example.
right.
I just think it's just, like I said, it's just funny to another list to tack on of shit that's just going wrong with this fucking game, dude.
Yeah, the cleanup crew is pretty. They got their hands full right now, trying to unfuck everything. So, and you just sent me the storage size. Looks like it's at 123 gigabytes.
Yeah, it's gonna
That's
be
the
100.
initial, right? The initial
Yeah,
hardware storage.
that's the initial before day one patch is on the way.
Right, right. So you can think about another
Um,
20 gigs on top of that.
but yeah, man, Assassin's Creed Shadows. I don't know. Other than influencers, I don't know how many people are truly excited for this game. You know what I mean? I don't know how many diehard fans are excited for this game. Like hell, look at Veilguard. Veilguard a month after launch is on PlayStation Plus Premium. And PlayStation Plus Premium is not known for getting new games.
Yep,
Like at all.
yep.
So they have a brand new BioWare title in their catalog a month after launch. Ooh, that's not good. So, hey, Ubisoft has a partnership. Hey, Drill, Ubisoft has a partnership with Game Pass. We'll see how long till this game drops on Game Pass.
Yeah, because I think they already highlighted that it did not meet the sales performance goals that they wanted to. Shocker. Um,
No, Veilguard didn't meet sales expectations. Oh, who could have told you that? Oh yeah, every single person in your fucking comment section for anything you've ever released in this fucking game.
yeah. Yeah, it's like HR wrote the screenplay. I'm like, who the fuck are these people, and why do they think they can input this into a game that's just not good in the first place? I mean, the
I
gameplay's supposed to be pretty decent, but then it's like, you add something like that on top of it, like bad VO to a very like condescending degree. It's like, okay, this is beyond ridiculous at this point.
It was like Dragon Age Veilguard, yeah, like I like the jokes. It's just like I said, it's just a giant HR video of like, here's your dialogue options. Sure. Okay. Cool. Like, wow. BioWare, man. You guys are nailing it with your dialogues,
Yeah,
man. But
like that's
so
gonna change the
suspenseful.
trajectory of the story if you just said sure versus okay or cool.
Really? I was gonna genocide this whole people. That's actually a horrible analogy because there's no villain. There's no remember Drell in modern day BioWare. There's no such thing as a bad person, just a person that's been negatively affected by somebody else and that's projecting their anger elsewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah. I really hope they just I don't know, they need to erase that from existence. Um
I want to be a I want to be a blood mage. Blood mage, but being a blood mage is triggering to other people, so we won't have it in the game. Okay. And so go enjoy your role playing game where the only role you play is a condescending hero. Villains, those don't exist in Bioware modern day gaming anymore because villains are triggering and offensive.
oh man, gotta love it. So speaking of things being put to death, Death Stranding 2 new trailer that came out, and by golly, Kojima put his nuts on the table. 10 fucking minutes for that additional trailer, bro. Holy
What the
Christmas.
fuck? And this is kind of how I have to press this. So at the time of recording this trailer dropped an hour ago. Like at the time I watched it, it was like 57 minutes ago. And it's funny because I'm watching all these other trailers like Borderlands, like oh a minute and a half, minute 15. Yeah, cool. And Joel's like, oh yeah, let's check out this Death Stranding trailer. What the fuck, dude? It's 10 minutes. Like I gotta like yo, we gotta hit record. We gotta start. So I watched it. I watched it at 1.75 this. I watched it at 1.75 the speed. And there's a few moments where I'm watching. I'm like going like, what the fuck? And hence one of them is of course my background fucking mascara running baby. Let me put up my other one here. That I did an audible, like an out loud. What the fuck is fucking? Let me say my settings here. Fucking tentacle mouth electric guitar man. I'm just like, what the fuck? So, like, hence why to start this show. Yeah,
Watch
yeah,
out,
Kojima.
Norman Reedus.
He's a tentacle monster. I've
He's
seen
a
these
tentacle
videos.
monster.
They don't end well for you. Run, run, Norman, run. Um. But yeah, 10 minutes, fucking Kojima trailer, man. Were you able to finish it?
No, I gotta watch the whole thing after the pod. But I was watching some of the stuff. I mean, as far as the parts that did show gameplay, I mean, the game looks fucking crazy. I mean, it looks really good as far as the graphics go.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, yeah, it looks definitely looks gorgeous. I mean, they're really pushing the power of the PS5, and I mean, it's funny because Get Death Stranding, it did better on PC, the first one. So really curious to
Yeah.
check it out, But yeah, I mean, the game looks pretty crazy. A lot of stuff I don't understand, so I got to take some additional time to figure out what the fuck's going on, so I can appreciate this game more than just like playing a random guy delivering packages
You gotta, you
that
gotta,
cries a lot.
you gotta, you gotta wait for AI Eminem to explain it to you.
Oh yeah, so for those, I think I mentioned it earlier in the show, right? It's that Eminem video of him describing the Death Stranding plot was fucking amazing. Very very funny. So I'm probably gonna have to watch that again for real. But and then it was June, right, for the release.
TBA coming up.
Oh, it's
Hold please.
TBA. Oh
No, no,
shit.
like TBA me getting back to your question.
Oh okay. Oh okay.
Hold please.
I think you said June. I'm not 100% sure, but they're definitely taking risks as far as for just falling, having it in Kojima's hands. So,
So there's two dates. That's why I got confused. So there's two dates. The game itself is coming out. Oh, the video. Hold on a sec. I'm still at 1.75. The game is coming out late June. I want to say the 26th. Let me whole place. Look at the thing. So the game is coming out June 26th, but you're able to pre-order it like starting in March. I forget the exact date, and that's
okay.
how. Yeah, so you're able to pre-order it. Um, very soon, like by the end of this month. The exact date I'll have for you momentarily. The figurine you get from one of the special editions looks really fucking cool. I will say that.
Okay.
Absolutely,
So you get a
absolutely.
figurine if you pre-order it?
So there's a couple tiers,
Oh,
but
okay.
the collector's edition
Yeah.
that comes with the actual like physical figurine. That figurine does look sick, dude. Pre-orders start March 17th, so just about a week out. So just about a week from recording this, you can start pre-ordering it, and but the release date of yeah, June 26th. Hey man, nothing says space baby beach times like summer, right?
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I definitely got to beat the first one. It's still on the docket of beating. I think I ended. I mean, spoilers. I ended at the part where I was carrying my dead mother on my back and trying to get across the land before she decomposes for the monsters to not destroy the entire planet. So that's where I was.
So And here's the thing too, I will say to this trailer because I was able to finish the drill. I will say this: if you only watch the first half of it, it does look like another walking simulator. Because I'm like, row, people are gonna say once again a Kojima game is more like a Kojima experience than a game. But then towards the end of the trailer, it looks like it's popping off.
A lot of
Like
gameplay.
well, it's still cinematics, but there's 100% got to be gameplay behind it. And there's like those goo tar monsters. They look they look bigger. They look a lot bigger, and there's a
Nice.
lot more of them. It's not a spoiler; it's in the fucking trailer.
Okay. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, like I said, highly recommend watching the end of it because, like I said, definitely the first off, like you said, Drill, is just showing off the quality of the game. Looks fucking gorgeous, like holy shit. Of all the trailers you and I watched before we started this recording, which there's a few more we're gonna go through, by far, Death Stranding 2, the most prettiest of them all. The prettiest girl at the ball.
Nice.
No one would disagree with her. She gets a tiara. Fucking
It,
gold star.
yeah, the lighting is crazy. That one, there's one. It's one of the first gameplay shots in the trailer. Right, actually, it was like gameplay footage, or it looked like it was captured gameplay footage. I was like, "Fuck, that looks crazy."
And it was captured on PS5 too.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, when they show the highway and the cars and like the little laser like Blade Runner looking aesthetics, I was like, oh, it looks sick. And then there's a mechanic where it's kind of like like Pacific Rim, where like a dude like mentally syncs up with a giant goo monster and like takes control of it. I was like, oh, we got Pacific Rim and this shit. Like, yeah, like watched into that trailer, man.
Yeah.
It's it's nuts. Also, spoiler towards the end of the trailer, there's a tentacle monster jump scare. Um, with the tentacle mouth guy. Um, yeah, the characters look amazing. There's a hefty cast. I put in chat here. There's a hefty cast. Norman Reedus, Leia Seydoux, French name. I'm butchering it. Shioli Katsuna, Luca Marinelli, who I'm looking forward to because I want to say he voices the Puppet Man, which that looks to be like my favorite character. I've never seen a pup with aftershave, a 5 o'clock shadow. So the character design of that little puppet guy looks sick. Ellie Fanning, that's right, Jarrell. I knew it was one of the Fanning girls. Ellie Fanning, is, of course, in this game, and of course we have Troy Baker. Um, who's voicing yours truly, the guy in my background now, who's like the guy that has like white makeup with mascara, and then his weapon seems to be an electric guitar that shoots out electricity, kind of like a Tesla gun, but it's a guitar. So that's awesome. And then Alyssa Jung, when the actress is there. So, dude, upside downside, people describe. I feel like more and more and more, especially this. Remember the other game of his coming out does announce that last year's Game Awards. More and more Kojima games are being described as like an experience more than a game. But from what I'm seeing, I'm not sure that's necessarily a bad thing because The game looks amazing. Story, the lore, absolutely convoluted, but who gives a shit? Um, so I will say this though, at least they're giving people like warnings. You know what I mean? They're giving people, they're giving people heads up because remember it was at Game Awards with Jordan Peele when Jordan Peele came out with Hideo Kojima, and they're like it's a game legally. This is a game. It's a different kind of game, but it's a game. There's buttons involved. So like I said, looking at this overall, the new works under Kojima seem to me like I said more like an experience than like a full fledged reload. Oh, continue, hold the line. Blah, 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 blah. You're not gonna get a lot of those from modern day Kojima games. But dude, his new works right now, especially from Death Stranding 2, and the brief we've seen from his other game that I forget there's a title or not has the we saw the making of it.
Yeah.
It's like he's the reason that reminds us like why gaming absolutely is in the same category as cinema when it comes to like this is a medium of it's entertainment, it's a product, but it is a form of art. And between the cinematics and the scripting and the music, Death Stranding 2 is looking to be a game that's absolutely worth playing.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree, man. I mean, I got to finish the trailer, but definitely from what I saw before we started, I was like, fuck, that looks pretty hot. That looks pretty dope, you know. Can't say I understand everything, but definitely it's like, this is an experience I want to partake. This is dope. So it makes me want to finish the first one, definitely. And I mean, you guys know me. I mean, if you've been an avid listener of the podcast, you guys know that Metal Gear Solid 1 is my favorite Kojima game, one of my favorite games of all time. I'd say my favorite game of all time. And I've just always liked the direction that Kojima likes to take a lot of these games here. It's kind of funny too. I wonder if I remember one of the theories that was on a previous episode, maybe Jesus, I might have been 100 episodes ago, Arthur, literally 100 episodes ago, when people were theorizing that that Abandoned, remember Abandoned? How like that was going to be the next Kojima game, and people were like, "Did he make a fake trailer for a fake game, like to steer us off from like this other game that they released?" And I've heard shit about Abandoned. So like Abandoned was either literally abandoned, or it wasn't even a real game to begin with, because Kojima does do a lot of weird shit like that. So I'm like, wow, this might confirm that theory, you know. But obviously, Death Stranding 2 is real, and this other game that they announced, where Jordan Peele's talking about, like you mentioned, so interesting stuff there. So, speaking of games either being abandoned or closing, you got Warner Brothers closing a fuckload of shit on a game. You like that segue?
That was nice.
Thanks. I tried on that one. Yeah. So I mean, you know, as I talked about earlier, for this year of the Gamers for Life podcast, I'm not reading too much more of the articles because I don't think you guys really care about it. But Jason Schreier, our boy, our gentleman Valor, who has been telling us what the fuck is really happening in the gaming industry, he definitely wrote this article here. It looks like, and Video Games Chronicle kind of adapted that information. But they closed 3 gaming studios, canceled the Wonder Woman game, and I don't know, man. It just seems like Warner Brothers is on a track record to try to beat EA, being one of the worst companies in the in the Americas. Yeah, I mean, obviously the track record. You know, we talked about time and time again when it comes to Suicide Squad. And then I remember you said, Arthur, that Hogwarts, that they are quote unquote rushing the sequel, which is incredibly concerning, especially the fact that Hogwarts was the biggest selling game that year. So, what does this mean for Warner Brothers? I think it just means steer clear far away from them as someone who would potentially buy one of their games. But how do you feel about all this?
This means more tax write-offs. Yeah. Um, and here's the thing too. This isn't like just gaming. This is like Warner Brothers as an entire entity. Like, so here's the thing. Remember, there were 3 finished movies. Batgirl, Coyote versus Acme, and I want to say there was one other project too that was done. Like I said, Batgirl and Coyote versus Acme were done movies. They're wrapped up, and they canceled them. They just scrapped them for a tax write-off to the point now they're getting investigated by the FTC Um, so right in the heels of that, I say heels is that was like 2 years ago now, based on the looking at these articles. Um, so for them to shut down a whole studio, like Monolith, like I said, Monolith was not a studio that made fails. Monolith made Shadows of War, made Shadows of Mordor and Shadows of War, both amazing games, and that reminds us a lot of good mechanics are just locked behind useless fucking companies and their dumb pedants, because that's the reason why the reason why we haven't seen that save system, that save game system, the save transfer your save data files to other games since Mass Effect 3 is because EA has the patent and they fucking done nothing with it. The same reason why we haven't seen the Nemesis system used in Shadows of War is because HBO owns the patent and they haven't done anything with it. And what makes it even fucking worse, Jarrell, is even though Monolith is closed, Monolith doesn't have the patent. Warner Brothers does, and Warner Brothers will have the patent until 2036, even after the shutdown. So guess what? We still won't see anything with that Nemesis system. And I don't know if you played Shadows of War, or seen gameplay of it. It's that Nemesis system was great because people would come back. It wasn't even like a dialogue feature like, I remember you, let's fight. Ha ha ha. No, it was like these actual moments, and then like they would come back more scarred, more bandaged, more fucked up, more like like um battle heavy from these previous encounters, and it was a great system that really helped you encounter the game. Like I don't know if you remember, Drell, that was their whole marketing campaign. Remember they had an orc. Remember they had an orc that just kept thing like that just kept this guy named Steve alive. Remember that? It's like it's like you're welcome, Henry, whatever his name is. You're welcome, Henry. And like he's about to get hit by a bus, and the orc stops the bus, or he pulls him out of the way. Not today, Henry. That was the phrase. Not today, Henry. Like whatever it was. And then all of a sudden on his deathbed, someone's about to pull the plug. Someone's about to pull the plug, and the orc stops him. Not today, Henry. And then that was the whole fucking marketing campaign, knowing that system was gonna be great, which it was. So Monolith is down. Player First Games is down. WB San Diego is down. Wonder Woman's canceled. I remember this is also after the massive failure that was Justice League Kill the Suicide Squad. Like that game is dead. Like you can still play it, but guess what? Like they've officially said like that last February update, that's it. That game is not being supported. Um, and I feel bad because like I said, you and I called that shit a mile away. The second I
Yeah.
saw, like I watched someone play the entire game start to finish at launch, and once I saw, I called that formula a mile away. I'm like, holy shit, all their season trail are just gonna be Brainiac. It's just gonna be a different skin of the same boss fights you've already done. And it sucks because I was right. That's all it was because the main boss of the game was just was the main ending to the game, to the actual game at launch. The ending boss fight was just the speed, well, not speed. It was the Flash boss fight all over again with a different skin. And again, those boss fights alone were not that good when Rocksteady has had some of the best boss fights in gaming. You might not like all the Arkham games, but those are really good boss fights they've had. Like I played Arkham Knight start to finish recently, and I'm like, God damn, these are some intense fights and memorable moments. And I don't know what, like Ubisoft, man, Warner Brothers just can't, this is having nothing but fails. And it sucks that these are decisions from the higher end that are fucking up their front line, so their bottom line. And it's developers that are being affected by it with these layoffs. So back to the Hogwarts Legacy thing. Hogwarts Legacy was a passion project that was about 7.5 years in development. This Hogwarts 2, they're already hinting from this interview, they're already hinting that this game's be riddled with like possible microtransactions and live service bullshit. That in a Hogwarts game. And that's not what made the first game great. I still state to this day, to draw. If you have not played it or you find that game like on sale for like $2, I'm not even kidding you. Just play it and just walk around the castle. I will say this. This is I don't know why this game got. Well, we know I'm still mad that it got snubbed from the Video Game Awards drill. I still say Hogwarts Legacy had one of the best settings in modern gaming today. Period. Like, yeah, Night City was great. Yeah, Skyrim's town of Whiterun was cool. I'm sorry, that Hogwarts castle, I have never seen a setting more fledged out and had that many fucking details and how lively it was, how active it was, how responsive it was, how like every corner had something for you to do, something to look at. All the paintings, like in the movies and the books, they would, they would follow you. They'd be talking. It was the cast, like the Hogwarts castle drill. Like I said, that Hogwarts Castle is absolutely more, I think, absolutely a better setting than Night City in the terms of just how it responds to the player, just in terms of how lively it is, and just how much stuff is constantly going around you to make you feel like you're there. I have never felt more immersed in a video game setting, honestly, than that Hogwarts Castle. So to hear that any part of that might be remotely hindered or altered because the decisions coming to Hogwarts Legacy 2, it's fucking concerning, man. Like I said,
Yeah.
WB is a company, not even for gaming, but as a company, is like one of the worst right now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. There's a lot of disappointing factors here, right? And then especially with the cash cow like Hogwarts. You know what I mean? Like it's just bad business and being irresponsible at this point. If they're going to try to shove all this shit up its ass as far as like microtransactions and all this stuff, just so they can gain a little more profit versus just having a quality game like the first Hogwarts. I mean, those are really strong words that you said as far as for the immersiveness. And I love Night City. For Cyberpunk 2077. A lot of people couldn't really play the game to its full capacity at the point because the game was fucked up. But obviously they fixed it. And then yeah, multiverse is also canceled. I'm really disappointed about them like just closing Monolith. Because like not only just the Shadow of War games, the fucking the Condemned series, man. And I know the Condemned series is mad old. The first Condemned came out on the original 360 back in the day, but Condemned 2 Origins, I think it was called, that game was fucking terrifying. It
The
was so good.
the fear games. We
The
won't get
fear games,
fear games,
Alma pissing everyone's pants. It's
dude.
crazy.
Like I said, we talk about closures. We've had a lot of discussions about, layoffs and closures. They're like, oh well, if the studio failed like Concord, and it's not a surprise. Like these are not failures. These are closures to save their bottom line, so their board of trustees, whatever you fucking call it, so their paycheck doesn't get affected. Like I said, the fear games till this day, Charles, like the fear games till this day is some of my favorite horror games. Because I remember playing that game, Fear 2 specifically, and I remember playing it. I was in college, and it was in my living room. It was me. It was we were playing on a futon, as you do in college, and it was me at one end, my buddy at the other end watching it, and their other buddy who was at the dining room table, like sort of behind us, but you can still see the TV. It was a big TV, like we all split it three ways. Someone paid a little bit more, so we agreed, when the year ends, he'll take it home, whatever. But we're like, fuck it, I'm cool chipping in for this massive TV. And like maybe an hour into playing it, all three of us were huddled up on the futon, just playing it because it was legitimately scary. And they predicted gamers so accurately, Jill, because you would turn a corner, right? If you let's say you get to a fork in the road, and you get to the fork in the road, you look left, and there's some like ghost like murdering decapitating a body, and you're like, nope, I'm going the other way. But I remember having to turn around, like, hey, let's go left. Nope, let me turn around to go right. But when you turn around to go right, wham, there was another like jump scare in your face, knowing that that's exactly what you would do in that situation. Like, you want to go left, go right. Oh, what's left? Murder. I'm gonna go right. Like, I just remember
Yeah.
legitimately, like, I was legitimately screaming out loud. You've seen that for me, like I said in Gears of War when the wall came alive. Um, so it sucks that, Condemned and Fear are some of the best old school horror games, like in gaming of their time, and the studio that made them, including Lord of the Rings Middle Earth, which is also one of some of the best gaming adaptations we've seen of Lord of the Rings games. Lord of the Rings games have a huge history of success, and they've absolutely contributed to that. And now Monolith's gone under, and it's like,
Yeah.
what are what are we going to be left with? Like what other than Hogwarts and Mortal Kombat, what else does WB really fucking have?
I mean, I don't think they have a whole lot at this point. I can't even think. I can't even think about what they have at the moment. It's really disappointing. And I yeah, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but it's disappointing. It's disappointing. I'm tired of seeing companies being closed due to profitability. That should be illegal. Like, I don't like fuck a paycheck. Fuck you guys' high end 6 figure, 7 figure paychecks. Like, fuck that. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, it's to the point where the IP isn't even respected. Games aren't respected, right? Games aren't respected, and then and it's not even about like fair sales metrics, because I'm sick of the argument as far as like, well, if a game doesn't do well, what are they supposed to do, Jimmy? Like no, like they're they're shooting for a number that doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Like there's no, like, it's almost like the target market doesn't exist anymore. We just needed
No,
to sell this number or you're gone. Like in
some
that,
some obligatory number,
yeah,
and it's like whatever that number is, it's never, and it feels like it's not never enough, even if it's deemed a success. Like a Hi-Fi Rush, critical and financial success, was on Game Pass, sold it was like one of the top played games of Steam of the time, and still let go. And
right.
again, even if there's record breaking numbers, case in point, I know we won't go down too much because it's a rabbit hole we go down a lot, but it's the example I like to bring up because, like I said, one of the first batches of major layoffs we saw when this trend started was after the most financial successful quarter in the history of Blizzard Activision. They laid off 200 people. So it's like if you have the not only a good, the best quarter a company has ever seen, and they're still axing people, then that let me know hard moving forward. And unfortunately, I hate being proven right, but here we are. No one is safe. Like at least for when it comes to no one is safe when it comes to Western developers because something magical is happening about these East developers like Nintendo. Stay chill about Nintendo. We shit on it sometimes, but we poke at it. But hey, they were seemingly like layoff proof from COVID. Um, so like I said, it's unfortunate to joke now, but hey, Warner Brothers and canceling Wonder Woman, they're about to have another tax write off because oh look at this, they're gonna have another tax write off, by April 15th this time next year.
I mean, and like think about this, like there are Nintendo employees that kept their jobs after the Wii U launch was a failure. You know what I mean? Like a console launch, which is way more expensive than a game production, like failed. You know what I mean? And then the result was, or at least I would say the majority comparatively, because CEOs, they cut a lot of those salaries so the employees would remain. I heard there were some people in Nintendo Europe or UK or whatever that were laid off, but comparatively to how things are now, how it's just like the Wild West, and like it doesn't matter if your game is doing well or not. You are expendable, or you are disposable. So it's just like thinking about that, where it's just like fuck, and I feel the Baldur's Gate 3 guy, it sucks because I feel like it's like the reason why I didn't care to watch the Oscars, where it's just like, okay, I'm gonna have a bunch of these people that want to act like they're relatable to the middle class, lower class citizen, even though they're not even in that class. They're like, we should fight for this, or it's like, you don't believe in that, you know what I mean? So it's just like it sucks when I hear like Baldur's Gate, like I believe I think the guy's 100% right as far as like give like respect the creators, like the developers, these people that make these games. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do this. But these companies are just like, what? Well, fuck you. You know what I mean? And then like we talked about it time and time again. It's kind of weird when you have other companies that aren't really praising the game. They're saying, hey, it's not going to be like this. This is not the norm. I'm like, whatever happened to supporting like when games are good and things work fine? Why is the detriment of a game such a business model that you can't even congratulate a fellow company and gamer for their game releasing well, selling well, and winning awards. What does that say to today? It's fucked up. It's fucked up. So,
One thing I'll add, I'm on their site. I'm on the actual Warner Brothers game site. In terms of IPs or franchises, it looks like they got anything DC. So of course, like you said, Suicide Squad, Rocksteady. Um, Rocksteady is now working on a single player Batman game, as they should the
oh,
whole
I
time.
hear it might be Batman Beyond, which, okay.
Oh, speaking of WB and bad fucking decisions, god damn it, Joe, you just reminded me of why I'm pissed off again.
Mm.
Remember there was the WB was going to make a Into the Spider-Verse style animated movie of Batman Beyond, and now they canceled it. Nah, this won't sell.
Oh,
Nah,
Jesus.
this won't sell. So yeah. So again, another reason why WB is in the news more often than not is not just because they're gaming studios. Like I said, they're just as a whole, Warner Brothers, they canceled a Batman Beyond movie. You know, but in terms of Warner Brothers games, in terms of IPs or franchises, like I said, they have anything DC, um, including that Batman VR game. I don't know how people bought that. Um, They have also other than Mortal Kombat and DC Drill. I knew there was three. There was like three IPs. Lego. They're the publisher for all the Lego games. So like even Lego Marvel, things like that, Lego Incredibles, Lego Indiana Jones. I'm sure there's like some franchise, fees or licensing fees they have to pay, but the Lego games itself, that's under the WB games.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So well, I don't know, man. I don't know if we'll see another Lord of the Rings game because they still own the IP. It won't be by Monolith. Um, Another IP they listed in one of the interviews they listed drill other IPs that Warner Brothers still has, um, that may benefit gaming is Game of Thrones, but let's be honest, a lot of people don't give a shit. A lot of people still haven't forgiven them for the last two seasons of that fucking show. Um, of the actual show, not the prequel.
Not the House of the Dragon shit.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, man. WB Games. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. W not even as a gaming company. As a company, I have no idea what the fuck they're doing over there, man.
Yeah, it's garbage. Definitely garbage. Fortunately, I don't think it'll be the last. And speaking of The Last of Us season two, the most recent trailer dropped. It's coming out around the corner here in April. Looks like it's doing the big battle better than Game of Thrones' big battle, as we talked about.
So it turns out to have a good zombie battle is lighting. Speaking of shitty ass Game of Thrones with that fucking Winterfell, that fight at Winterfall, whatever
Yeah,
the fuck town it called,
yeah.
because they couldn't see shit. And then remember, Joel, remember WB had the audacity to be like, well, actually, if you turn up your settings because it's your fault, you dumb fucking customer. You're
They
like,
were
oh,
they
fuck you.
yeah, yeah. No, they just basically lied because then afterwards they doubled back and like pretty much like said that like there was a lot of budget cuts or whatever. And the funny thing was, very quickly, I remember watching it through like my Magic app, and I was like, dang. I was like, is it because of my app that I'm not seeing the battle or whatnot? And then I told her, they're like, why can't I see anything? I said, oh shit, this is how it actually looks.
Yeah, they fucked up. Um, well, and on par with WB Drill, remember, Last of Us will be on HBO Max. Not Sony streaming platform.
Right, exactly. It's
I
yeah.
still
I'm
don't know
pretty
what the
sure
hell
that's.
that is.
I'm pretty sure it seemed like it died before it even really got resurrected for real. That whole Sony video thing. I doubt they're doing that
I
anymore.
will
So
say I will say the small plus that I've seen is because I have the app. But because I have PlayStation Plus Premium, there's like a select few movies I get that I can watch for free. Like there's a few good ones like District 9, I think Blade, don't quote me. But District 9 confidently is on there. But yeah, HBO Max, Last of Us coming out April. There's now two newish trailers. I don't know which one's new because I'm behind. Um, but there's definitely one new trailer that shows more of the overall show. that we're definitely going to see, flashbacks of the hospital scene from Abby's perspective. Um, there's a massive zombie fight coming where it looks like the zombies are going to, the infected are going to attack the town. They might be able to climb some walls or some shit. And it's a daytime. Like I said, it's unlike Game of Thrones. It's gonna be well lit. It looks really good. Um, the comments, so the comment section, they're all under the same thing of Godspeed to whatever actress is playing the Abby character. Um, the internet, the internet will internet and just hate on that character because. But either way, here, but ignoring all that dumb bullshit, which is exactly what it is. Oh, I don't like that person, so I'm gonna comment on their personal. Shut up, just fuck you. But as a show, it's it's looking good, man. Like it looks good. I think we're one thing we were all in agreement on, like you, me, and Church, we're all agreeing on is we hope the show has better pacing and if not pacing, editing, better editing than the game did because the constant flashbacks kept pulling you back and forth. I think a lot, and so the order of events at which we saw it as a gamer, I think wasn't the best. So we're kind of hoping that this next season is not a true copy and paste. Um, and the one example we have so far, Drill, from season one, where they did not make it copy and paste, which was I think one of their best episodes, was remember the Ron Swanson episode with him and his like remember Ron Swanson, him and his gay husband were like that. I forget his name. I forget his name in the
Bill,
game. Bill.
Bill,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
he was like the hoarder and like the hoarder and what. There's like a name for these people like what I mean, like apocalyptic preparer, a prepper. There you go. He's a prepper. Um, that was a great fucking episode. So again, so the one time
they won
we
an
saw
Emmy
them,
that episode. Yeah,
yeah, it was a great episode. So the one time we saw them do a not copy and paste formula, and season one went very very well for them. So I'm hoping that they do a little bit of that in the second season. Otherwise, I'll say this: I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to watch it. I got HBO Max. I'll watch. I'll watch it week to week. It'll definitely be a topic on the show.
yeah,
I'm looking forward to it, man. I will say, I think I will. One last thing, Joel, before I pass it off to is okay. I don't want to say I like the character. I think the actress they've chosen and the overall I want to say character. It's weird to say character design when it's a real person. You know what I mean? But I'm trying to use my words. But I think the aesthetic choice they have for the character of Abby in the show, I think will make her a lot less divisive than she was in the game because it was just Abby is a character model in Last of Us 2. It was very different and very divisive. People are like, "Cool, I guess even in Apocalypse, steroids are just readily available." Didn't know that. Now know that. Okay. So, but I'm really curious but again, from so far the quote unquote design or like choicing and what do you want to call it? What's the clothing? Wardrobe. There you go. And always the little snippets we've seen of Abby so far for season two. I think they're doing the character better than if we would have done a one for one, 100% adaptation of like Abby's character design from the game.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, I never had an issue with her character design. I had an issue with witnessing her kill Joel and then playing her for 6 hours. But I was speaking for me,
Yeah.
because I'm like surprised there are some women that have stronger physiques, like a lot of fighters, Clarissa Shields, Serena Williams. Like these are real people that exist. Like it's not just a weird gaming thing. But my biggest issue, which has been for I would say for us as well, as far as like one the pacing, how the editing is, and how are they going to deal with this thing once Joel gets killed. And it seems like based off of the trailer, I think it's funny because you know how Neil Druckmann doesn't really want to like say that like we actually kind of like predicted like this and how like this whole issue with Abby, like how hey like she's gonna get a lot of hate, FYI, and like Druckmann just like continues to like he's just like whatever, man. We have one of the highest selling games on PlayStation, blah blah blah, But based off of this trailer, man, It seems like he's listening because it seems like they're drawing out this shit. I mean, I don't even remember seeing the big battle in the game, bro. I don't even remember that. All I remember is like talking to Joel and then just, Versus like, you fucking lied, you motherfucker, you know what I mean? And then they get spread out and like, yeah, the zombies come, but it's not really focused on that like it is for the show, for which I think is good because it delays fucking Joel dying, So I think they're actually doing this justice in a way where they're kind of like slowly pulling the band-aid off. And I will predict, it's not confirmed, but I will predict that this is going to be a 2-part season. Because Druckmann even said, it's funny because he like he didn't double back. He kind of reneged on like what he said originally. First, he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm thinking about writing the third one. It's in the early talks." And then there was another article that came out that said, "Well, I don't know if it needs a third one." So I'm like, "Okay, Neil. Like, what do we? Are you working on that weird heretic game that people are like, this probably is going to suck a lot of dick? Like, what? Like, what are we doing here?" So I don't even know if there will be a third Last of Us game. And I think they're going to stretch the fuck out of this one, and there are other rumors as far as like they might do 4 seasons and that might be it for Last of Us as far as for the game, for the show perspective. But I think definitely so far, I think they're doing it justice, and I wouldn't be surprised if the show was told 1,000 times better than the game, because I do remember those cutscenes back and forth. Even though, like, from a gamer mechanic, after like it being very risky and me not almost stop playing it, I think the payoff was good, but the back and forth, I agree with you 100%. Fucking like they didn't need to do all of that. That was kind of ridiculous. So we'll see what happens. It seems like the actors are killing it. This season this Last of Us 2 is incredibly violent. And I'm curious to see how they're going to adapt that for the show. There's that whole cult that like disembowels people and hangs them and all this shit. Like there's a lot of crazy violence. So I'm curious to see how they're going to spin that. Because obviously the first one, yeah, there's some violence, but it's not nearly as violent as the second season or the second game. So curious to see how they're going to spin that. And I appreciate you for having HBO Max because I want to watch that shit.
Good.
Yeah, you can chat about that. Last but not least, I mean, Split Fiction. Your boy is fuck the Oscars. His game is getting really great reviews, and it seems like and you know what I like about that guy too? When he says something comes out, it comes out. There's no delays.
No.
You know what I mean? It comes out, it's done, it's great, and he just follows through. He delivers. Like if he didn't deliver and he just talked a lot of shit, I wouldn't respect him. But the guy delivers, and he's like known now as like the co-op guy. So like I definitely got to play some Fiction in the future. I know like a bunch of games fucking came out, but yeah.
Jarrell, you want some good news?
What's that?
I think we'll be playing this very soon.
Oh, did you buy it?
I put in chat, Jarrell. This man needs to be respected and studied because there is a feature that was debuted for his It Takes Two game that I think needs to be talked about a lot more. He has a thing called the Friends Pass. For those of you who don't know what the Friends Pass is, here's as simple as it goes. I buy Split Fiction. I want to play this game with a friend. I give them a code, and they can play Split Fiction with me. And confirmed, the Friends Pass, like the game, is cross-platform.
It's incredible.
Not only that, Jarrell, do you know how much Split Fiction is right now, day one? It's not on sale.
Is it $50? Is it $50?
It's a $50 game.
Yeah,
that's
amazing.
It's not a full price game.
Right, it's not $70 or $80.
And you get a and you get a way to play it with your friend. So have them save money instead of buying it as well. That his games are some of the best cooperative games ever. I don't mean like this genre, this generation. Like It Takes Two. If people still haven't played it, I think it's on Game Pass. If not, it may be coming to Game Pass soon because EA has a partnership with Game Pass, or all other stuff it drops there. Um, It Takes Two is like one of the best cooperative games I played. It's on my bucket list to still play that game. I think it's called No Way Out, which was the predecessor to It Takes Two, which was the two prisoners. Um, I don't know if that game has a friends pass, but It Takes Two definitely did, and confirmed via my Epiphany smiling face drill. Yeah, very near future there'll be a full playthrough of us streaming Split Fiction, man, and I can't fucking wait. I did not with all the articles I'm hearing of Split Fiction already cemented as a top 10 cooperative game of all time. It's getting nothing but rave reviews, and the fact that as I knew it would, but the fact I'm hearing all this, but I did not know that Friends Pass was going to be a thing is this that's fucking massive, dude. Like I
Yeah.
mean, like we're talking about like we're just talking about like for the gamers, you know what I mean? Like Hogwarts Legacy was 100% a passion project. Looking at that castle, right? Um, Battlefield 2042 pulled the rug under us. Made us think it was a passion project because they showed a clip of what a gamer did. We're like, oh, they know about us. Oh, I just have them shit all over your face and be upset when you're not smiling about it. This guy has been pro gaming, pro art, pro storytelling for decades. He has put his whole career. He's a guy that wears his heart in his chest, and his heart is fuck the Oscars, Game Awards, let's go. This is it. He named it two characters after his daughters, and with the I want to say sensitive or divisive like concept of like wokeness in games. It's like you can argue where that's present, but like we can still agree regardless if a game's like quote unquote woke or not. It's whether or not it's good that that makes it apart. You know what I mean? Like when you can be like let's just call it is. You can be gay in Mass Effect, but like no one really gave a shit because that game was really good. And not to go down that rabbit hole too much, but what I'm saying is because a modern day game has two female leads, people are like, oh, he's gone woke. Oh, but and he's like, look, guys, but 2 games ago I made a game with two male characters. And then I made a game with a guy and a girl. No had a problem with that. And all of a sudden I make a game with two girls. Now everyone's losing your mind. Fuck you. I named these characters after my daughters. Go fuck yourself. And I'm like, fuck yeah, man. Like that's what I'm talking about. Like that's who
Yeah.
this guy is.
Yeah.
This guy he stands on his business. He knows his quality and knows his art form. So again, when he names two main characters after his two daughters, because the dude's a girl dad, um, just it's just saying to see him stand on business and to put his have his quality out there, just everything he does. I'm really happy to see his another Game of the Year contender um on his hands here. I'm calling it now. I'm Jarrell. I bet you there's gonna be like best multiplayer game. You know what I mean? Um, Depending how much accessibility there is or the storytelling, you may see it nominated in that. What's that one category that was like we called it the HR category, but it was like most accepting or most open. You know
Oh
what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah,
was.
yeah. It was
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it was like. Yeah, I
I
mean, it
forget
was
the
like
name of it, but yeah,
we
we're all
called it.
talking about Church didn't like it. He didn't like the that category, and I was like, oh, an issue with it, but I forgot the name.
Yeah,
It was a weird name, yeah,
it's a category that has like no true merit. It was like, hey, well, because they had a troubling backstory, it makes the game better. Not really, but you get your own category. Cool, shut up. So,
yeah,
but again, depending on how this story goes for this game, I can see it possibly getting nominated in that category. But fuck it, man. Like fuck it. This
yeah.
game's only $50, and I get to play with someone for free. Shit, you free tonight?
That's awesome. I mean, shit. I think I might have a little bit of time. I think I knocked some stuff out, but I have by a little bit of time, definitely. Yeah, man. No, you're absolutely right. I agree with you 1,000%. I agree with you 1,000%. I think, yeah, I just have respect for the guy because he delivers on quality games and consistently, and that is sad to say. It's kind of like it's a rarity for today's time. You know what I mean? And he's taking a lot of risks. It's very risky to make a game like these games that he's been making co-op games. You know what I mean? Comparatively to like live service games or games that have these high fucking dollar goals. It's very risky stuff. You know what I mean? And then also to name a game, and then to be very vocal saying, oh yeah, these characters are named after my daughters. Like, do you know how personal that is? Like, that is incredibly personal. And he didn't even have to do that. So I just have a lot of respect for the guy. And then at the end of the day, he's just releasing quality work. So I think he brings a good reminder like, hey, we need to start making quality co-op games again. I shouldn't be the only fucking guy doing it. Like, it's like, I'm great this is doing well, but like, that is an art form that has been lost that needs to be brought back. Because like, I even remember a very weird controlled game, but Army of Two. Like, I remember like jumping off a plane, and then like the guy behind me who's also co-op, he's shooting the sniper rifle while like the other guy you're controlling like the parachute. I was like, this game is fucking nuts, like but yeah, I'm really excited for Split Fiction. I definitely I'm looking forward to playing with you for real. Yeah, it's kudos to the guy. I definitely wanted to end the show with this because I was just like, guy put his, he said the game's gonna come out this time. Fucking came out. Game's great.
It's not full price.
It's not full price in the Friends Pass. What the?
You can give a Friends Pass, dude. This
incredible.
This guy, there's a couple CEOs of modern gaming that have a lot of people's respect. And like Church says, like, so there's not, like, that's one thing I like about us, particularly as a friend group, especially for the show, is we're not yes man. We're not the writers of Veilguard. We don't circle jerk each other like, yeah, it's a great idea. Do that. No. And one thing that Church does thing too is there is one thing that Church is absolutely right on. He'll say like, even if you don't like, let's say play the game or beat the game or even complete the game, people will buy the game to support it. And I think there's absolutely a minimal part of like the marketplace that buys this game knowing like, hey, I'm gonna buy it, I won't be able to play it this weekend, but I'll play it next weekend. But I like this guy, I know what he's about, I know it's gonna be a good game, I don't want to buy it to support it. I think it's absolutely valid for him to put this guy in that category. Like there's not a lot of,
this is a prime example. I agree.
There's not a lot of modern day gaming CEOs that like are respectable and reputable, and this guy's one of them. The ex CEO for Arrowhead Games, the maker of Helldivers 2, stepped down because it's like it felt like overnight it became like a multi $1 million company, and he just kind of came out and said like, look guys, I don't know how to be like a CEO of this multi-million-dollar company, so I'm going to bring in a new CEO so that I, one of the creators of this game, can focus on bettering the game. And that's such a crazy decision. That's such a crazy fucking decision to say, I'm going to step down for being a CEO of a multi-million-dollar company to make the game better. That was a massive fucking announcement.
Yeah, that's very noble. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like I said, and then to a point you have the CEO behind the Baldur's Gate 3 company that was like, hey, look, we had a beta. We heard a lot of feedback, and I remember, Jelly, you called that shit like that beta was like 2 years prior to launch, and that's what a fucking beta is. Not this Blizzard, not this modern day AAA bullshit where a quote unquote beta is going to be released 2 weeks before. A beta is coming out 2 weeks before release. Like that's not a beta. That's a fucking demo. You know what I mean? And so they have this guy. See the successes we've seen from him. I'm happy for it, and I can't wait to play this game. It's only $50. It's in my Sony cart right now.
Oh shit!
Start downloading it.
I've seen 25. Saying 25. We split.
I won't say no. You can send me 10. I don't give a shit. One last thing. Also, before you go, Drill, you were saying Army of Two. Army of Two is making its rounds again because its anniversary, its 17th anniversary was the other day.
Oh shit!
Army of Two came out March 6th, 2008.
Yeah. Like it wasn't the best controlling wise, but co-op, that was a fun game. That was fun. That was a fun game, definitely.
That's a shooter that was built from the ground up to be cooperative, and
yeah,
here
literally
we are seeing that legacy with It Takes Two, and with here we are, Split Fiction, calling it now contender for Game of the Year from what we're seeing from reviews.
Yeah, multiple awards too. I think it's gonna be yeah, it's gonna, and definitely I'm gonna be watching that. We'll be watching that and definitely celebrate the success of this one. So absolutely. Well, hey, we committed to less than 2 hours. We're at an hour 35. So I think, and a great way to end the show for all the turmoil and dismay.
Great way to end the show is by me hitting confirm purchase
Yo.
on Split Fiction.
There you go. Congrats. Yeah, I'll see you in 25. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up here for the Gamers for Life podcast. Each and every Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, discussing all things games. I'm one of your hosts, Jarrell. With me is Arthur Thomas. And shout out to you, Church. I know he already beat Monster Hunter Wilds Madman. So, all right, guys, we'll catch you guys next time. Thank you.